Hello, welcome back to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel, like my videos and watch other videos on my channel as well. So the last update about Twist of Fate, Sid decided to divorce Rhea, but Aliyah taught Rhea what to do, and Pallavi planned to send Sid, Rhea, Ranbir and Prachi on honeymoon. Let's continue. Rhea asks Shaina about the cup. Shaina says this one and asks her to give the tea to everyone, while she will give the tea to Grandma. Rhea gives the tea to Vikram, Pallavi and Siddharth. Ranbir is about to take the cup in which he's having the medicine. Rhea says first I will give the tea to my loving sister. Prachi says very good, Rhea. Ranbir asks if Juju is not having respect. Rhea walks towards Prachi and gives her the cup. She then gives the tea to Ranbir and Shaina. Everyone started drinking. Rhea thinks you are a gone case, Prachi. I will get rid of you tomorrow. Abhi comes home and shouts Aliyah. He says you will not work with Gaurav. He says I came to know that he has stolen the quotation amount so that he can file tender and defeat Pragya's company. Aliyah says who said this? Pragya. She says why did you believe her? She might have told you that I have leaked the quotation, but it is not true. Abhi says I did not say this. You have only taken your name. I said Gaurav has stolen it. I didn't mention your name. He says either leave Gaurav or this house. I don't want anyone to work with him. Abhi says he has betrayed Pragya. First, he gets his work done and betray people. He says either you will work with him or you will leave this house. Aliyah says I promise that I will not work with him. Pragya hears them and says I have no problem. Aliyah can work wherever she wants. Many people are against me. I don't care and I know how to protect myself and my company. Abhi says but I do care and says that we are staying in the house and we shall not be against each other. He says I hope you have understood and goes. Pragya says I did not tell him what you did along with Gaurav. If I tell him the truth, then think of what he would do. Aliyah asks if Pragya is threatening her. Pragya says I am warning you. If you don't mend your ways, then I will tell him the truth. She says then he will mend you with his way. She goes from there. Rhea comes to the hall and asks Ranbir about Prachi. Ranbir says Prachi came and runs to her. He takes the luggage trolley from her. Grandma asks, did you do all the arrangements? Pallavi asks, all set to go. Rhea says yes. She thinks of Aliyah's words and thinks that why has nothing happened to Prachi? She is fine. Sonny comes there and says that Shaina is getting vomiting and that is why I am making lemon water for her. Grandma asks her to add black salt in it. Rhea thinks that this means that Shaina had drank that tea and not Prachi. She gets tensed. Ranbir tells Grandma that he will go. Grandma asks him to say that he will be back home. Ranbir says and asks her to take care. Grandma asks Ranbir and Prachi to take care of each other and blesses them. Vikram asks Rhea why she is lost. He asks if you are fine. Pallavi says this is nervousness. Grandma says when she will return from honeymoon, she will return happily. She says if they are not happy, then I will scold Siddharth and Ranbir. She teases Vikram. Rhea asks Pallavi and says I will leave. Pallavi says what happened to her. Grandma asks them to call them. Vikram says what happened to Rhea. Pallavi says I am seeing her like this for the first time. Siddharth and Rhea are in the car. Rhea looks out of the window. Siddharth says the weather is good and says that he likes to go on a long drive and asks if she wants to see the view of the resort. Rhea says it is annoying to see you. He asks what? She says why am I going with him and asks him to keep quiet and keep driving. Prachi asks Ranbir to talk. She says that she wants him to talk and asks him to share his hard talk. He says if this journey ends soon, then our honeymoon will start. She holds his hand. Ranbir asks, what are you doing? Prachi asks if she cannot hold his hand. Ranbir says she can. She asks him to see Siddharth and Rhea standing on the road. Ranbir stops the car. Siddharth asks him to open the deck key and says that he needs to keep the luggage. Siddharth and Rhea sit in the car. Siddharth says that the petrol got over when the tank was full. Ranbir says Prachi said that they shall go together, but he said that they shall go separately. Rhea says we are destined to be together. She recalls coming out first and puncturing the petrol tank so that the petrol can leak. Siddharth comes and sits in the car. Rhea smiles looking at Ranbir and keeps her hand on Ranbir's suit. She thinks you don't know what I can do to be with you, and once I get you, you don't know what I will do. She thinks that once my aunt's idea works, then nobody can stop me from getting successful. They reach the resort. Rhea calls Aliyah and says that they have reached the resort. She says Prachi came with her. Aliyah says I sent you the medicine name. Rhea says Shaina drank the tea and not Prachi. Siddharth calls Rhea. Rhea ends the call. Prachi says checked in happen and asks Rhea with whom she was talking to. Rhea says with Shaina. The manager comes and says that they have arranged the best view rooms. Rhea asks if the rooms are together. The manager says no, but he can get them the rooms opposite to each other. Ranbir says no, it is good. The manager shows them the way to their rooms and asks them to come for the special dinner. Prachi and Ranbir go to their room. Ranbir says the view is nice. The resort staff says that the view is good. Prachi asks him to give the tip. Ranbir gives him tip and thanks him. The staff member leaves. Ranbir closes the door and calls Prachi. He says she started mischievous on honeymoon. He searches for her and calls her. Prachi says, how did you know? Ranbir says the air told me that you are here and says that it is not our enemy. Prachi says if we are not married. Ranbir says if I was not married to you, then I would have never married and I don't want to hear anything where you are not there. Prachi says whatever you have done for me, I couldn't repay it for 6 baht. You have accepted me, supported me and loved me. She says she fears to lose his love. Ranbir says I love you so much and I don't find flaws in you. You are perfect. She says I thought that I can never be a good wife, but you made me believe on myself and you have no idea what you have done for me. Prachi asks Ranbir to love her always and never leave her as she loves him a lot. Ranbir says I will never leave you as I love you more than you love me. The hotel staff takes Rhea and Sid to their room and asks them to call the room service if they need anything. Siddharth gives money to him. He goes. Siddharth says that it is beautiful. Rhea asks what is beautiful. I don't think anything is special. He asks, do you want to change the result? Rhea says no. Siddharth says if she doesn't like this room. She says there are many things which is not liked by us, but we have to adjust. She says Ranbir is here. Then why will we go anywhere else? Siddharth says we came here for holiday and need to have a good time. If you don't want, then we will change it. She says I came with Ranbir and I will go back with him. Siddharth asks, why are you mentioning Ranbir's name? Rhea says I don't need to explain small things to you. She says she needs to freshen up and goes. Siddharth thinks if she is the same. He blames himself and thinks that the problem started before their honeymoon. Tanu confronts Aliyah and says she said that you don't have any connection with Pragya's daughters, but just now I heard you talking to Rhea. Aliyah says she cannot come between Rhea and me. She says she is like my daughter and she was in a situation where I was in the same situation and only I can help her. Tanu says you can tell me and I went through the same situation. Aliyah says you don't love my brother but you wanted his money. Tanu says even Purab was your stubbornness and likewise Ranbir is Rhea's stubbornness. Aliyah shouted Tanu. Tanu says she has shown her a mirror and asks her why she is getting angry and asks her to hear the truth. Tanu says love is love. Its emotion can be different and asks her not to lecture her that her love is truthful than her. Siddharth comes out and tells Rhea that she came alone. She says she is not a little girl and she goes to sit on the table. She thinks that where is Ranbir? Siddharth says sorry. Actually, the petrol was over. He says I know you are upset with me due to this. Rhea asks him to call Ranbir and Prachi. Siddharth says it seems your mood will be good when they come. She says no doubt and says you will get such answer for silly question. He calls them. Ranbir and Prachi comes there. Rhea asks Prachi and Ranbir. Ranbir is surprised. Rhea asks where were you? Why did you come late? Prachi asks Siddharth what is he looking at? She says they got late due to Ranbir. Siddharth says really? Prachi tells Ranbir that she was complaining to Siddharth about him. Ranbir says we are on honeymoon and holds her hand. She holds his hand and says we are on honeymoon. Ranbir asks Siddharth and Rhea to sit together and hold each other's hand. Prachi says that is why I don't want to come. Ranbir says you are officially married and can do anything. At least we can hold the hand. Rhea says how can you see this Ranbir? How can I hold someone else's hand? She says if I do this, then won't you feel bad? Prachi laughs and says you scared Ranbir. She says she was joking. Ranbir says I asked you, but you responded. He says I was thinking why you said this. Prachi falls. Ranbir kisses on her cheeks and says we are on honeymoon. Prachi says you thought I would scold you. No, we are on honeymoon. Rhea gets jealous seeing Ranbir and Prachi's romance and throws the fork on the floor. She then says sorry. The manager comes there and thanks the guests for giving them good reviews. He says you have special arrangement for today. He brings the guitar and asks Ranbir to sing. He says I confirmed with your wife. Ranbir says no. Prachi says please Ranbir. Ranbir says I will sing 100 songs and dedicates his songs to Prachi. He sings the song for Prachi. Prachi enjoys the song, while Rhea looks jealous and angry. Ranbir comes to Prachi and takes her to the stage. Prachi sings and dances with him. Siddharth plays the guitar. Aliyah is upset and says that Pragya can change, but her brother would not change. All the world is at first side, and Pragya is at the other side. She says he came to take revenge and showing faithfulness. She thinks that neither my husband nor my son doesn't need me. She says only Rhea matters in her life. Rhea thinks of Prachi and Ranbir's romance. She collides with a guy and scolds him. Aliyah calls Rhea and asks how is everything. Rhea says horrible. She says nothing is happening as I thought. I shouldn't have come here. And then Ranbir and Prachi wouldn't have come. Rhea says they are romancing as if they got married yesterday and says my blood is boiling. Rhea says Ranbir is behaving as if he is waiting for this day since 2 days and says that she did not come to see this. She says I want him to say that I am good and attractive. Aliyah asks her to shut up. She says you don't have time to attract him. Then you will go to the room and get closer. She says it is a waste of time. She asks her to come to the point. She asks her to take Ranbir to the room and get closer to him. Rhea asks, what do you mean? To divert his mind? She says how to take him to my room. It is too difficult. Aliyah asks Rhea to get Ranbir drunk. Then Prachi's effect will go away from him when he is drunk. She says she will book a room there and asks her to take him there. She asks, are you getting my point? Rhea says book the room. I will make the arrangement of the drinks. She calls for the waiter and asks if he wants to earn extra money. The waiter smiles. She also smiles. Prachi asks Rhea where did she go to and says that Ranbir sang well and everyone clapped for him. Siddharth also says that Prachi also danced well. Rhea says that she has ordered dinner. Ranbir says I am very hungry. He asks Siddharth if he wants to eat something else. Siddharth says no. Rhea says I ordered food for everyone's choice. The waiter comes there whom Rhea has bribed. Rhea takes the drink and gives to Prachi, saying that it is a soft drink. The waiter signs to Rhea. Rhea takes the glass and recalls adding tablets in it. She gives the spiked drink to Ranbir and smiles. Thank you for watching my videos. Please don't forget to subscribe, watch other video on my channel, share this video, and please like my video. Thank you.